welcome to another episode of We Read It One Night, the podcast where two sisters use romance novels to restore honor to the crazy cat lady name. This week, we're chatting about listener suggestion, Isn't It Bromantic by Lyssa Kay Adams, starring ooey gooey cinnamon roll hockey-playing hero Vlad and hard-hitting reporter Elena in a marriage of convenience. Listen to us invite you to join the cheese revolution, teach you how to have better sex, and do way too many impressions of a 1930s reporter. Don't forget to leave us a rating and review, and don't forget that the HarperCollins union is still striking, so donate to the cause, email HarperCollins executives, and support them on socials. Enjoy the show. Everyone about your friendship bracelets?
Oh yeah, well I was hoping it would be done by now, but this girl on TikTok had some like really cool friendship bracelet tutorials that were like kind of Taylor Swift themed. And I mean, I don't think she came up with the designs, like I found them also online, but like she had tutorials. So one of them was like a rainbow bracelet in the shape of rainbows. It's really cool. And then another one is like a daisy vine thing. So making one as a choke now out of the daisy one. Maybe we can post a picture on Instagram when it's done. My back really hurts from doing that all day, though, because I made a rainbow bracelet, a daisy bracelet, and a daisy choker. But I'm going to try putting a button on the end so it's removable. I don't think I've ever done that before.
Maybe we can do it as like a giveaway. Like if we hit like 1,000 followers on Instagram or like a certain number of downloads.
Oh, yeah.
Or like 100 reviews on both Spotify and Apple
or maybe
Podcasts.
Maybe I'll sell them on Etsy. Seems like a lot of work, though. Very labor intensive. I don't know if my back can take it at this time in my life.
You should get, I guarantee you that they make some sort of like friendship bracelet holder or like something that like enables you to do it like this and probably even has armrests.
Oh, I just don't think that would help that much. So today we're doing Isn't It Bromantic by Lyssa Kay Adams? Lyssa Kay Adams.
I think it's Lyssa. That's bromantic, not romantic.
Oh, yeah. Isn't It Bromantic? Sorry. And this is the third book, I think, or fourth book in the Bromance Book Club. We haven't done the first three yet. And I've only
read the first one.
That was
a long time ago.
I read the first two, and then I couldn't make it. I started the third one, and then I was like, I need to make sure this isn't going where I think it's going. And then I looked it up on Goodreads, and it was indeed going where I thought it was going, and I just couldn't.
Rachel has some hard lines she won't cross when it comes to family and romance.
Yeah. And that's all I'll say, I guess. But
but other people like that book. Yeah. No, I've only read the first one. I think I read it when it came out, so I don't think the other books were out when I read it, and then I just like never got around to reading the other ones until a listener suggested this one. That we do this one. And it's about Vlad and Elena. And Vlad, up until this point in the series, what I do remember from the first book is that basically his entire character. So the premise of the series is that like a bunch of men get together and read romance novels to like be better men and like better relationships and like better at life, et cetera, et cetera. And like the structure of each book is that like there's the main story and then there's like random like excerpts from like a fake romance novel.
That's not true. It's only this one.
No, the first one has it too.
Oh, I don't think the other ones did.
I think
this one has it because he's writing a romance novel.
No, I know, but it's usually like the one that they're saying. And I say this because Lyssa Kay Adams is actually going to write like the full book that's in the first one, the full like secondary novel. And I was I have a note that like I kind of hope she does all of them because I want to read the secondary novel, like Vlad's book, quote unquote, and like this one. I was like, I'm into this. Like,
that'd be cool. I forgot. Yeah. I can't remember if the second one or third one has it.
I feel like they do. I feel like it wouldn't make sense for like not all the books to have that structure.
Vlad's the only one who's writing his own, which I love for him.
Yeah. But I love Vlad. And his character up until this point in the series has just been like poop jokes. Because surprise, surprise, it's revealed at the beginning of this book that he actually has IBS. And I was like, the poop jokes were kind of like in bad taste, I feel.
No, I know. They can all like
all been like farting and poop jokes.
I know. I mean, yeah, the man has like very bad gas, and it turns out, and like it's always in the bathroom, and
it turns out it's a
he has an
medical
autoimmune
condition.
disorder. Yeah, but he has it under control now. He has like medication, and he's like also gluten free for some reason. I guess that can be a thing that helps.
He has like celiac, I think, or like an intolerance or something.
Yeah, maybe
He has
that
like some
too.
sort of
Oh
gluten
yeah,
intolerance.
some kind of yeah.
And he carries around an emergency pack for like poop emergency.
Yeah.
That he like is sharing with someone. They're at the beginning of the book is like they're
it's
at a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
And like best man is in the bathroom like with food poisoning.
And I forgot that this takes place in Nashville, which is fun. And for some reason, so Vlad's a hockey player from Russia who came to the US to play hockey. And I forget, what's the team's name? The Vipers, which is interesting because there is a real Nashville hockey team that's like kind of a big deal, the Predators. But I guess she had to change it to like not, get in trouble.
It's this. I guess it's the same way that Brooklyn Air used like there's a New York hockey team, but they use like a fake one.
Yeah,
right?
So Vipers, but think Nashville Predators. And we find out, so we knew like in the rest of the series that Vlad was married, but we don't know until now that it's actually like not really a real marriage, or like it kind of is.
It's a marriage of convenience. It was
marriage
like
of
kind of a green card marriage.
But also like
not
they
really.
were best friends growing up, and like he did actually want it to be a real marriage, but like through a series of miscommunications.
I have never met two people who are so incapable of communicating to each other. I was like, are you sure you guys were best friends your whole life? Because like, I feels like this could really be, and I mean, I get it. It's realistic. Sometimes things can be resolved with a single conversation and they're just not. But like,
yeah, because that isn't such an awkward thing to like bring up. But yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, oh my God, you guys are so stupid.
I know.
So his wife's name's Elena, and she's been in Chicago in school. She's been like going to school while he like plays hockey. She's like grad school or something, I think.
Yeah, grad school. Yeah, so they grew up together, and she was like his family is basically her family because her mom died when she was young, and her dad was like a journalist in Russia, and which I guess is like really dangerous, at least like the kind of journalist.
An anti-government journalist.
Yeah.
Like, an anti-corruption journalist.
And like
Russia.
right before they came to the US, he disappeared and presumed dead.
Yeah.
So that's why she
disappeared with like a capital D, as in like the IRA and like Argentinian Civil War.
Like he was disappeared, as it were. And so I don't think she's fleeing Russia like for safety. Like I don't think she thinks someone's coming after her, but it is like, oh, I just need like a new start and like to not be around this like shit. But her dad also kind of like sucked. He sucked as a dad. Like he really just put his work. He really didn't give a shit about her. It seems like he really
except for like we get like one moment at the end where she's like, oh, he did give a shit about me, and I'm like, I don't know if that really counts. Yeah, he definitely prioritized his work, which was like, it was important work. Like he died because he was like investigating like a sex trafficking ring, like a human trafficking ring, and like they like took him out before he could uncover the truth. And so now Elena is like trying to finish the work that he started,
story, and which is so crazy. I mean, I get it, girl, but like, listen.
I was like, oh, like her introduction is like meeting in a shady parking lot, like trench coat. She's meeting with a sex worker who's like giving her like intel.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn. I really enjoyed the like spy, like, and this, the ending to this book is also so just like Love on the Brain by
but
Ali
it's not
Hazelwood.
but it's not like that because it
no,
doesn't feel as,
no, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it also has a bonkers ending. The ending just like explosive. But but I was like, this makes sense. The book has been leading up. Now the book still would have worked if we hadn't had that big explosive bonkers ending. I think like it didn't need to happen, but I was like, everything that I've learned so far makes sense that this would happen. Where it's Love on the Brain, it was like, and then he pulls out a gun.
Yep. So insane. So Elena shows up at this wedding that Vlad's at. He's really happy to see her. He's like, oh my gosh, finally we can fuck and have a real marriage, quote unquote. Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I want a divorce. She's like, I feel guilty for I'm going back to Russia to be a journalist. I feel guilty for like mooching off you so much, basically, even though he doesn't see it that way.
That's what she's always thought like she like owes him a lot, and she feels like really guilty.
And now it's 6 months later, and Vlad is on his way. Continuing with the spy motif, Vlad gets his own spy motif. he's on the way with his friend Colton, who apparently he's ghosted all his friends for the past 6 months because he's basically like sad, depressed that Elena's leaving him. And they're like, Colton's like, man, you have a problem. Enough is enough. This is the last time you're taking me here. And Vlad's like, I need it. And you can only get into this place with like a special key, like members only. It's like the secret underground bunker warehouse,
like steroids or something,
right?
Like for hockey.
And
no,
it's a secret cheese warehouse.
And we find out it has to be underground because like the cheese man that runs it like sells like unpasteurized cheese and all these cheese that doesn't meet FDA standards, which like
he's fighting against the secret cheese lobby at the highest levels of government.
I'm not here to like be like ignore FDA standards. The FDA is like I'm not an FDA conspiracy theorist, but I'm saying there is some truth, like because like people in Europe, eat this cheese.
Yeah, like the most they've been able to do is like outlaw the maggot cheese where the maggots jump in your eyes. Like, yeah. No, I'm like very in favor of unpasteurized cheese, I'm gonna be honest.
After I learned about government cheese, I'm like the cheese lobby needs to be taken down.
Yeah, because like something I don't know. Actually, I should look into this before we give like bad health advice to people. But like I know unpasteurized milk, like raw milk, there's people who like sell that underground too and are like very into it, and I believe that it tastes good, but that shit actually can kill you, right? Like it actually, like if it it can go bad really easily and like make you really, really sick. But like for something about cheese, it just seems like no matter what, you're rotting it. So like why does it matter if it's pasteurized? If you ever have the I mean, because Kajmak is unpasteurized and I would kill to be able to buy that here. Kajmak is this like really good, it's not like cream cheese, but it's kind of like, it's like a spread, like cream
butter
cheese. Butter mixed with cream cheese kind of consistency. It's just really, really, really good. And it's made from like, fresh cheese, as it were, which, raw
which
raw
are
milk.
should we tell
unpasteurized cheese.
I mean, we'd put it on TikTok. Our
grandparents smuggle it to
2
us,
times ago. Yeah, our grandparents smuggle it. We're not going to say how in case they're like,
why didn't they bring us any this time?
To this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess because you weren't here. But in case there's any snitches to it, we're not going to tell you how they do it. But they do very successfully smuggle dairy into this country and meat products on the reg.
Well, they stopped the meat products after the Great Prosciutto confiscation of like 2015.
Now they only bring like dry.
I was really traumatized. So the dry meat products was what was confiscated. Bob was really traumatized.
No, because they bring Stefan his stuff.
Oh,
they still bring Stefan his stuff.
Yeah. But that's like packaged, so I feel like it's. But yeah, no, I highly recommend Kajmak if you ever have the chance. If you're ever in the Balkans, hit it up.
Hit that up. But like the Slavic Balkans, I don't think like the
I was just gonna say, oh sure, I was just gonna say I bet you could get it in like Albania. I bet it's the name Kajmak, like that sounds like it would be like an Albanian word. Like it doesn't sound like a Slavic word.
There's so many dishes in the Balkans that have like 5 different slight variations of the same name. Like yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so and I just want to say, so I read the first few chapters.
You can get it in the Caucasus too, and Iran and Iraq.
Nice. See, that part of the world, guys, has good cheese taste.
Mm-hmm. But be careful in Poland, because apparently the name Kajmak refers to a confection similar to dulce de leche instead. So be careful, you're not going to get the same thing.
Very different. Very different.
Very
I feel like, I feel like the Balkans, the Middle East, they're always being overlooked when it comes to cheese in favor of like France and shit. Like, and I just like really feel like we're missing out.
Yeah, I agree.
We're missing out on some great cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so the cheese man, I just want to say that I read the first few chapters of this book and then like read the rest of it like a week later. So like when the cheese man like comes back later in the book, I had totally forgotten about him and I was like, oh my god, the cheese man. Like I was so delighted. I love the cheese man. I love this plot line. I would like, if anyone knows any like underground cheese places in the Philadelphia area, let me know.
Yeah, seriously. Like because they'll sell stuff that's like called Kajmak, but it's not going to be anything like it because it's not going to be raw cheese.
I felt very betrayed by the fact we learned from the cheese man that like you can't buy real brie in America, and I was like, I love brie, and I was like, what
is brie also supposed to be raw milk?
I have no idea. The only place that like at the grocery store, the brie is always just like hard. Like, you know what I mean? It's like very like artificial. I found what I thought was good brie at Trader Joe's, but apparently it's not. It's the really stinky kind that you don't like, Rachel.
Yeah, maybe I would actually like it.
maybe.
Yeah, but it's illegal in America because it's made with raw. Also, camembert.
What is that?
I don't know, but it sounds familiar. It's another type of cheese. Camembert. I
A
don't know how to pronounce
bear?
it.
A bear.
Camembert. I don't know.
Bear.
It's only been since 1987.
God.
Wait, you can have. Wait, you can if you age raw stuff for more than 60 days and clearly mark it unpasteurized, you can sell it. But Brie and Camembert only age for 4 to 5 weeks, and Kajmak only for like a few hours, I think. But I feel like you could age it.
That's rude.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's
Yeah,
aged anyway.
the cheese lobby is too
Anyway.
strong. The dairy lobby.
No, but that's absolutely true. The cheese caves, and they're probably stockpiling the bad cheese down there. Why aren't they stockpiling raw milk
Right.
instead? Oh my God. Anyway, they're at the cheese place. Vlad's like,
they have some delicious
his friend
cheese.
Colton is like, I can't believe you ghosted us. Like, you can't just use me for cheese like this. They also have burrata. I enjoyed that.
I do like burrata.
Yeah.
So
and
we
then
fast forward.
He goes to the game. He has
Yeah,
a game that night.
He's playing the game. Like we said, Elena's like meeting people in parking lots. And then she gets a call that Vlad got injured and he essentially like snapped his leg. Like apparently it's like
really
a super bad
break,
injury.
yeah.
Like it's a clean break though, apparently, like because it like
possibly
heals
career.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes, so she like rushes to the hospital and he has to be like airlifted to like a different you know what I mean? Like they like we know it's bad because like he has to be like transferred somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, so she goes there and she like is trying she tries to get to him. She goes up to like the nurse at the welcome desk or whatever and it's like, my husband is Vlad. I forget his last name. And she's like, yeah, right. You're like the 6th like wife like that's popped up here.
Yeah.
I was like, but she also is like, I can't believe she thought I was like one of those, what is it, like ice bunnies, hockey bunnies, like something like that. It was like the fangirls, and I was like, I don't like this. Like,
we definitely, Elena definitely has some like not like other girls vibes for sure. And it's played off as like, oh, it's just because her dad didn't love her as a child, so she never got to do any like childhood things.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't really. I was like, oh, puck bunnies. That's what they're called. Puck bunnies.
Okay. Whatever.
I was like, I want a book with a puck bunny, like justice for puck bunnies.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Give me
like why
puck
should
bunny redemption?
Right, like why should the girls that don't even like hockey get to be at the hockey players?
Like,
hear it out. Hear me out.
So what if I'm a fangirl? Who cares? Like whatever. Yeah, that means I'll be interested in your boring.
You put in the work. Put in the hours. Exactly.
Right.
Take what's ours. Better you than me. Listen. If someone's got to take the hit for the team. So he walks in. She walks into his room.
She walks in. He's not walking.
He thinks he's dreaming, and like and like falls back asleep, and like continues to be like, oh, it was a dream. But then he wakes up, and she's like asleep in his hotel room.
She's the only thing that he wants more than hockey.
Oh.
I haven't read the other books in the series, like I said, but I genuinely don't think any of the other heroes can compare to Vlad. Like I already know that like even if I were to read the rest of the series, no one's gonna like and the first book definitely does not beat Vlad.
No. He's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sweet little cinnamon roll boy.
Yeah.
He's Pa. Rachel, he's Pa. He can grow a beard really fast. He's very large.
It's true. He has a lot of body hair.
Cinnamon roll. He loves a lot. He loves animals.
Yeah.
Vlad is Pa. He is.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Oh my gosh.
For listeners just tuning in, Pa is my, like, if I were to marry a man, my ideal husband. He's essentially just a man that you can envision children calling Pa. That's I can't describe it better than that.
What was that other name that the something? Oh no, it's not Stern French Daddies. Yeah. And Vlad's basically like, you don't have to stay, like the team can get someone to help, like whatever. And Elena's like, no, I'm gonna stay, like I have to pay you back or whatever. And he's like, he gets mad, but whatever. She ends up staying. She goes to his house
because he needs a lot of home support. And initially he's like, Lee, because he thinks it's gonna be too painful. He's like, if she stays and like takes care of me, like I'm gonna keep falling in love with her, and like it's gonna suck. And like they're like very dumb and pushing each other away, and I'm like, just have a conversation. But they have a lot of conversations in Russian. I love that they consistently just like talk to each other in Russian.
No,
in
they
front of
only talk to
everybody
each other in
else.
Russian.
And
Like,
everybody's like, what?
why wouldn't they? Like, they like, made a point of saying that in the beginning, like when she comes to the wedding, and it's like, we talked in Russian, our native language. We switched to our native language, like we always did when we were together. And I was like, why? I feel like I would have assumed that. Like, why wouldn't? I mean, just like imagine if like you and me were in another country and like somehow we spoke. I don't know. Like we're in Germany and like we sort of know German. We know German, but like why? Of course, we're gonna speak in English to each other.
Or
Why
even
wouldn't they?
Serbia. Like,
Sure, even
you know what
Serbia.
I
Sure,
mean? If
sure,
we're in
sure.
Serbia, we're talking
Yeah,
just to each
sure.
other.
Sure, exactly. Yeah. Like, of course we're gonna speak. Like, that's I would have assumed that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't, like, yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's just funny because they do it in front of other people too. Like other people are in the room.
Well, yeah, of
Ostensibly needing to understand what they're saying.
course. Oh, yeah, no.
They're just like, no.
Or they're doing it so they can't be understood by anyone else.
I love shit talking people in another language.
Yeah. She gets his house. There's this giant dog there that's apparently not his dog. It's the random neighbor dog that comes in. And she's like, she loves dogs. She loves dogs, all dogs. But this dog could eat her. And I'm like, listen, I get it. I like dogs too. Some dogs are scary. And I feel like also there's this like weird, like, I don't know, like if you don't like all dogs, like somehow you're like a bad person. Like, I don't know. Apply that to cats and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
But
well, he also has a neighbor cat that is not his cat.
Exactly.
That comes in. And okay, I just want to say that I was like, if this book doesn't end with like Vlad and Elena adopting a dog, I'm going to be so mad. And it didn't. Because the whole thing is like he can't have pets because of his hockey schedule. But I was like, now Elena's going to be living there and she can take care of the pets. Yeah. I was like, why aren't they adopting a dog? I don't understand.
They basically have a dog.
But it's
they basically have a dog. Anyway, she starts snooping in his stuff. And she had noticed that he like didn't have his wedding ring on, so she like took hers off too, even though she's been wearing it this whole time. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I never have the desire to like snoop in someone's stuff.
No,
I just feel like you never learn. I don't know. Like sometimes you do, but like I don't know. It's just like a lot of effort for me personally. Like I get it. I'm just it's the same way that I get why people would like want to move the furniture around. Like how people do that like randomly.
Yeah.
Like, that's never been me. Like I literally will like walk past the same thing that's like not in the right place for like years and like I'll be annoyed, but like it literally won't occur to me to like it's just so much work. Like I don't know. Like and also that it like upsets me. Like I don't like change. I don't know.
I don't like change. Yeah. The cat is a calico. It's always a calico.
It is always a calico. It's such a nice cat. It's such a nice name for a type of cat. Yeah. It should be more tortoiseshells, honestly.
Yeah. And so Vlad has a conversation with his parents, and basically his mom is like a very big Vlad and Elena shipper.
She's that's like the OG. That's the reason they got married.
Yeah. And she she says, quote, "You're like a skittish hibernating bear when you're upset, Vlad. You push people out and you shut down like a bear."
Which is crazy because, yeah, when she pushed them to get married, we find out later they were 20 and 22. Like, they were really young. So it's kind of bold of her to do that. Like, now they're 26 and 28. But anyway, so Vlad comes home. And he's like, "Why'd you take your ring off?" And she's like, "Well, you didn't wear yours, like hypocrite much." And he's like, "I just take it off for games. Like, I always wear it." And then the boys come over to give him a bath so that she won't have to see him naked.
But before then, she says, so I have a question. She says that she removed all of the rugs in the bathroom so he doesn't trip because he's like on crutches. He can't put weight on his leg.
That seems worse.
And I was like, listen, I do understand the logic behind that, but also like, wouldn't it make it slippery?
Yeah.
And he does like tip over at one point, and I feel like it's because it's slippery. Yeah. I was like, the execution is off here. I feel like you should have just put all rugs, like just covered the floor in bathroom rugs.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like wall-to-wall carpet somehow, but that's kind of hard to pull off. No, like I don't know. I feel like what you'd want is those like grippy things that like won't move, that you put in like the bottom of tubs that people won't slip. Yeah. Anyway, the boys come over, they're washing him. They start roasting him for his body hair. We get this Like one of
You
them
call
does.
him Little Butt?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he's a
Little
nice
butt.
butt, because hockey butt. And then he finally tells them about his marriage, and he's like, "It's not a green card marriage; it's a marriage of convenience." And I just feel like we need to start calling like all green card marriages. Like we just need to start calling more marriages in real life marriages of convenience. Like that's a trope name that like fits in real life.
I genuinely feel like if we were honest with ourselves, like at least a third of marriages
That's a
are
great
marriages
point.
of convenience. Like
Yeah.
if we were honest, be
Yeah.
honest.
No, that's true. Yeah. We just need to start. That needs to be introduced more.
Okay. So they're like, it's time to book club you, Vlad, which is using the book club to help him fix his marriage. But this time, instead of a real book, they're going to read Vlad's book and they're going to help him finish his manuscript, which is about a World War II second chance romance.
Yeah. And I really didn't take notes on like each of the instances this come up.
No, I didn't. I just, my only note is that I would like to read it. I would like to read the full book. I'm into it.
It's cute. Elena wants to make him like his favorite Russian recipes, but then she realizes that he's gluten-free and she's like, I don't know how to do that. Like it's gonna be hard. But like I just feel like it would actually be pretty easy to make Russian recipes gluten-free. Like, right? I feel like if it's
I don't
anything
know.
like
There's
Syrian
a lot
food,
of bread.
it's also like just really heavy on like meat, potatoes, and like cabbage.
But there's a lot of bread, Rachel.
But also potatoes are like the main. I would say potatoes are probably the main starch. Or maybe there's a lot of bread, but like you can just not make bread. Like it's not like a inherent ingredient in most things, except for like sweets.
I don't know.
I guess she makes a lot of dumplings. Maybe I just don't know what kind of Russian food they eat, but like
yeah, they eat different Russian foods.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to mention in addition to his book club friends, he also has like the loners, which is a group of middle-aged and old ladies who are all like widowed or divorced.
Some of them are his age. At least one of them is his age.
Oh, okay. Well,
Michelle
the other one, the ones that are in her house at the beginning, I thought were like middle-aged. And,
no,
like,
the one
older.
with kids is like his age because Elena's shipping them.
Yeah, but she wasn't in the house at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Basically, everyone was like, "How long are you going to stay?" And she's like, "Until he doesn't need me anymore." And they're all like, they're constantly, the book club is constantly like, Elena's like, they keep looking at each other and having silent conversations. And I hate it. And it's literally just every time she says something like that, they're like, oh, yep, sure. Okay.
She's like, I can't believe they're being nice to me. Like, this is so weird. So we also find out that Vlad doesn't make people take off their shoes inside.
Oh, yeah.
So this is when we find out that Elena has actually had a crush on Vlad like since she was 16 and he was 18. And she was actually like really happy when he proposed. Like she thought it meant like, oh, like he likes her too. Like they can finally like, this is like him saying he actually loves her. But then right before their wedding, she overhears a conversation between him and his dad where like basically they say like, oh, the reason I proposed was because mom like told me to, which is true. Like he wouldn't have done it if she hadn't suggested it, but like he wanted to, he probably just wouldn't have, proposed without dating or anything. But like he did, he also like loved, liked her. But she doesn't know that. So that's why she thinks like she's just like a burden. Like he doesn't really want to be with her. And so that's like the simple miscommunication that's been in our way this whole time.
Yep. So she's making him, one of the favorite treats that she makes him are cheese pancakes. And they sound good until she gives him cheese pancakes. And then she makes cheese pancakes for everybody. And Vlad puts like cream cheese on it or something, which like makes sense. I was like, I accept this is how you eat cheese pancakes. No. Like, but then that's not my point. My point is that she gives everybody else syrup and powdered sugar for their cheese pancakes.
I mean, listen.
Am I crazy? Or is that?
I think you're crazy. No,
does that sound disgusting?
I know. I think it'd be fine. It's like sweet and savory. Like I feel like, think about it. Like people put like fig jam on cheese, like that type of thing, like on a cheese board. I think you're picturing
powdered
like
sugar.
The wrong. Yeah. Oh, these do look like really good. These look like pupusas.
Nice.
They look so good. Yeah. Wait, didn't she make a big deal out of how they were really hard to make? Because this website says they're really easy to make.
I don't know. I think there was something else that she did that. Also, the neighborhood cat Angie jumps on the bed while Vlad is sleeping, and Elena keeps walking in. Where like I guess Vlad sleeps naked, and she keeps walking in, like seeing his chest and being like, "Oh no!" But yeah, the cat jumps on the bed, and Elena's like, "If I were a cat, I'd curl up next to Vlad too." And in the book also, like the heroine in the sub book is described as a cold lost kitten seeking heat and comfort. So lots
so he
of
like
little
knows
cat
on some
references in
level.
this. Yeah.
So she's throwing like a party for everyone, right? And she invites like, well, I don't know why she's throwing a party, just like to be nice.
They're having a party because the team made it to the Stanley Cup and
Oh,
Vlad can't
right.
be
And Vlad has
there.
missed
So all
it.
the other people are like coming over to watch the Stanley Cup with him to like
Oh,
make him feel
okay.
better. Yeah. Well, okay. So before that, Vlad is working on the book with the book club. And they keep being like, when is there gonna be a sex scene? When is there gonna be a sex scene? Like blah blah blah. And he's like very awkward about it. And I was like, oh, do we have a virgin hero? And
Wait, that's
listener,
you
we
predicted that?
do.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was so awkward about sex, and I was like, "This is
Oh,
a
see, I
virgin
just thought it was
hero."
because like even in his head, even this like he just knew it was like him and Elena, and he's like, we're not
No.
ready for it.
Well, that was also like I was like, he's had the hots for her since he was 16. Yeah,
18.
like Vlad is absolutely the type of man to like
Do
wait.
18, but yeah. No, but yeah, I'm impressed that you picked up on that.
Okay, so now Elena is like, "Hey Vlad, do you know I've been trying to find this fancy Russian cheese. Do you know any good international stores?" Oh, she's talking to Alexis, who's like a heroine of another book and has a cat cafe. And she's like, do you know any good at international stores? And Alexis like asked Vlad about the cheese man. And she's like, "The cheese man?" And she asked Vlad about the cheese man. He's like, "How did you hear about that? No, you can't go to the cheese man. You will never be able to get out if you like. It is addicting. The cheese man. You can't go into this dark world." But she does. They go to the cheese man, and there's like a dramatic standoff between like the guard at the door and Vlad. Like, and the guard has like a cheese paring knife as a weapon. And Elena's like, "Please, please, God, I just want some fancy Russian cheese." And the cheese man comes out and he's like a Lothario and he like is flirting with her. And Vlad is like naturally very jealous. But she does get the Russian cheese. Unfortunately, she does also invite the cheese man to the Stanley Cup party, and Vlad is upset. So Elena has like a godfather in Russia who is not a godfather like capital G, godfather lowercase g, and he's a journalist. And she like calls him. She's like, "Oh, can you get me a job?" And he also is like, "Why are you getting a divorce? Why aren't you staying in America? This is stupid. But like, fine, I'll get you a job as long as you promise not to like complete your dad's investigation." And she's like, "Fine," or whatever. And then she tells Vlad basically about how her dad disappeared and how like they had like a relationship where they had a code word, Sparrow, that the dad would text her if like and she would know then to like burn all of his journals and like his notes and like get rid of everything and then like go hide in a motel to like wait for him. And so like the night that he disappeared, he texted her like Sparrow, and then she waited in a motel for 3 days without like food or water,
Well,
like until
presumably
she
she had
realized he
water.
wasn't coming.
Yeah. Well, presumably she had water from the sink, but like, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Vlad, and she's like, this means I must finish my father's story so he did not disappear in vain. And Vlad is like, "No, that's not the lesson we take from this story. The lesson we take from this story is your dad was a shitty dad who never should have put you in a position where you needed a code word." Like, what the fuck? Vlad falls in the bathroom. He falls in the bathroom and he's naked, and Elena has to come get him. And this never would have happened if she hadn't taken out all the rugs. So I think this was a subconscious attempt by Elena to save
Oh,
Vlad.
that's actually like explicitly why. Yeah.
No, that's not explicitly why. Okay, now it's a Stanley Cup party.
Okay. So they're having the party. The cheese man shows up and he starts ranting about he's a resistance fighter against the cheese conspiracy at the highest levels of government and dairy. They milk their cows 3 times. 3 times. But anyway, he starts flirting with Elena, and Vlad's watching them. And then the cheese man like leans in for a kiss, and Elena turns her cheek at her head at the last minute, so he kisses her cheek. But Vlad like basically goes into a rage and kicks everyone out and like ends the party early.
And then they finally have like the argument where they confess like their feelings and have an angry kiss. And I love an angry kiss.
And that's when Vlad tells Elena that he's actually a virgin because he's been waiting for her this whole time. Elena's not a virgin.
Yeah. And she hasn't slept with anyone since they were married, but she did sleep with people before. And I do like I understand Vlad being a virgin, but I also do like he's like, I waited for you, and she's like, don't put that on me. Don't
Yeah, like it ends in
like
a
you being a
fight.
virgin is like not like that's fine. I don't care, but like don't be like, it's for you. It's all for you. Like she's like, if you're a virgin, that's like your decision. That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. And she basically ends in a fight because she like she still like feels really guilty like that. I don't know that he did that.
She's also like tells Vlad, she's like, I'm going back to Russia to finish my father's work.
Yeah.
And like Vlad doesn't want her to do that because he's like, you're gonna get killed just like your dad. Don't do this. Yeah, so they fight and she's like, I'm gonna go.
And the next day she goes to Michelle, who was the aforementioned loner who's Vlad's age, who Elena has been assuming this whole time, like that her and Vlad like have something going. And Elena's basically like, you have my blessing to date Vlad.
To go.
And Michelle's like, oh, okay, I see. Okay, we can fix this.
She picks up the phone. She's like, guys, she just told me I could date her husband. Get over here quick. And like brings over the loners.
Have like a makeover scene. Apparently Elena's been wearing the same sweatshirt this whole time. Which is really grubby.
Honestly,
they all, like, roast her for it. I know,
same,
but like
though. Like I do too.
I know, but like I feel like the way I feel like it's I don't know if she can't smell great right at this point.
I do like that Michelle isn't villainized. But yeah, and basically like Michelle is like, listen, like Vlad is cute and like maybe I would consider something, but like there's just one problem and it's that he's in love with you and he's always gonna be in love with you, you big fat dummy. Like I don't understand.
And so meanwhile, the book club like shows up to Vlad and it's like, well, they bring him his favorite chicken, like a pet chicken from the farm from a previous book. Yeah.
I was like,
and they're like, the key is we're going to plan this like romantic dinner and then you guys can finally fuck and everything's going to be great. And they do that. And then everything goes great.
Basically, all their friends are like, you guys share one brain cell and it's not working for either of you right now, basically. Like, so we're gonna do it. And he sends her a cute little note in Russian, and it's like a Russian poem because his mom like teaches Russian poetry or whatever. So like they like to, what is it, Proust?
No,
who is it?
It's not Proust.
Something with a P.
I don't remember.
No, Proust is German. Anyway. And it's like Beauty and the Beast, like how like the Beast, especially with like Vlad, like the getting ready scene, like you know how in Beauty and the Beast is like while they're like trying to like comb his hair and like give him outfits and stuff, and like that's what it is, and it's very cute. It's very Beauty and the Beast. Oh, it's Pushkin. I did write it down. The Russian poet.
Yeah, that's like a kind of a running theme throughout is like this Pushkin poem about like letting a bird go, and that's what his mother told him to do with Elena, but then he has to realize like I'm not the cage. Anyway, they finally have sex. And
little baby Vlad is like texting the boys before like Elena's in the bathroom and he's like, guys, what do I do? And I was like, this man is too pure for this world.
I know. And like, okay, here's why I once again get on my soapbox. This time I'm coming for romance novels. I'm sorry. But like if there's any way that romance novels are actively harmful, it's in the same way that pornography is harmful, in that it's just perpetuating how to have sex wrong. Because this is like the exact description. It's like he withdrew to the tip, then back in. His body knew what to do instinctually, but what he didn't know, he learned from the manuals. And if you've been listening to us for long enough, you'll have heard me rant about this. Like the poking in and out, like all, you know, like that's not how you have sex. If you want it to be good for the woman, like you go in once and then like basically dry hump, but like wet hump, right? And so like I don't believe that's what your body's doing instinctually. Like if you had never had any outside like instructions on sex, that's not what you'd be doing, right? Yeah. So romance
and Elena does not come explicitly.
No,
she doesn't. Not come.
Even though the boys told him to take care of her first. And like, how could she? Like, she's literally just like, maybe like being tapped a few times on her clitoris. Like, I don't, right? Not even being rubbed on the inside. Like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway.
My only note, Rachel, for this scene is just Rachel, question mark.
Yeah, I was not happy.
Rachel's got to talk about this.
It sounds like it's really bad. Like, at least Vlad gets to, to take his FSB card, whatever.
He gets to come. But then he eats her out, he does.
Not that time. The next time. Whatever. And then the next day, like Colton walks in on them in the kitchen.
Making out, yeah.
So Elena like is deciding to stay. She goes to visit this immigration attorney that Alexis recommended. And the immigration attorney, like, I thought it was funny because she's basically like, yeah, you like, I work with fucking refugees. Like, your problem is not a problem. Like, oh, boo hoo, you can't get paid. Your husband's super rich. You could volunteer as a journal. Like, no one's like,
She's
I'm
like,
sorry.
boo-hoo, you're a white woman from like a rich
Married to a
Western
professional
country.
athlete. Yeah.
Like, she's like, the system is made for you, bozo. Like, get out of your, get out of your ass.
I mean, arguably,
and
Russ
she's
is an
also,
athlete, but
yes.
still,
And
yeah.
well, I
For
mean,
sure, but like married to a professional athlete, yeah.
I wouldn't call Russia a developing nation. Anyway, but she's also the heroine of the next book. I looked it up. This immigration attorney. So it's not just so that we can
there's
like get
more? Wait, with who?
Yeah, I think there's one more book. Colton's the only single one left.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get with Michelle or like with whoever he was flirting with during this book. I don't know.
He was flirting with Andrea, who's like 55.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I would have supported it. But anyway, but yeah, she's basically like, oh, I can volunteer. And then right after, she gets a call from her godfather, Yevgeny. And he gives her the job offer. And she's like, no, actually, like, I decided to stay. And he's like, oh, that's such a relief. Like, I'm actually really glad to hear it. Like, I didn't, I'm glad you and Vlad are working things out. And then she's like, but I have a favor to ask you. I actually lied to you before when I told you that I wasn't investigating my dad's story. Can you give me any leads? And he's like, God fucking damn it. Like, don't fucking do this. But she like pushes and he's like, I'll look into it. So then Vlad and Elena go to a hockey game together and sign some autographs.
For children. It's very cute. And we get like mutual I love yous. And like basically we have like this one moment of happiness for them before everything goes to shit. And she like gets the call from their godfather and then she's like, I'm gonna wait to tell Vlad this, like until we're in person. Like she's on the phone with him. She's like, I'm not gonna tell him now. And I was like, oh no, when this happens, she's not gonna get to tell him. But then like she did, and like it didn't really have an effect, other than the fact that they like got in a fight about the fact that she like was trying to finish her dad's.
She gets a call for the lead from Yevgeny and she's like frantically packing her stuff. She also goes to, I just want to say, she just for the cat scale, she goes to the cat cafe again at some point and we meet a cat named Beefcake. Anyway, and there's cat adoption events. Anyway,
who I'm pretty sure is a main character in that book, in Alexis's book.
Yeah.
Like Beefcake.
Yeah. And then she's like frantically packing, and he walks in and quote, her pupils were dilated like someone high on Adderall or a drug. I don't know why that was just like, I was like, Lyssa, you apparently know a lot about immigration attorneys and hockey, but unclear.
Not about Adderall. Listener, PSA, I'm not going to tell you why we know this, but if you take Adderall, don't take magic mushrooms. Thank you. That's all you need to know. No further details. Trust me.
Not on the same day.
Right. Don't take them at the same time.
Yeah. On the same day. Okay. So
basically she has a lead on the sex trafficking thing and she's like, I'm going back to Russia to investigate.
Yeah, and then Vlad goes to drown his sorrows with the cheese man again. And they're like,
which honestly, same. Like,
a man only drowns himself in cheese like that if he's looking for a fight or if he's just been one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and they listen. And what I like about this argument is that they both like make really good points. Like Vlad is like, once again, like, you are only doing this because like you're trying to justify why your dad thought this was more important than you. Like why he always prioritized the job over you. You have daddy issues. And I was like, damn, Vlad. But then she's also like, you don't like trust me. You're trying to coddle me. Like all of that. And, like they both. I feel like they're both right and they're both wrong.
Yeah. So she goes to this like sketchy hotel, and her contact never shows up.
No, it's like a motel by the airport. Yeah, she's flying back to Russia.
I said sketchy hotel. Oh, is the contact in Russia? Oh, whatever. She gets
kidnapped. She gets
by a very
bopped on the head.
Kidnapper who's like, sorry for hitting you.
But right before that, she does realize she fucked up. Because, she's in the hotel. And then she's like, wait, like, why the fuck am I going? Like, I love Vlad. Like, this is stupid. And so she leaves early. And then that's when she gets kidnapped. And the kidnapper is like, we were supposed to take you in the morning. Like, why the fuck are you leaving now? This is so inconvenient. Like, this is why I had to hit you on the head. Like, it would have been fine if you, like, had been chill. And yeah, so she wakes up. like tied in the back of the car. And the kidnapper basically just monologues to say all the plans. And essentially he's like, we sent you a fake text like about that lead, like it wasn't like real, so that we could like lure you out. And then he's like, I killed your dad. And then she finds out that yes, like the kidnapper did the killing, but it was really her godfather, who's like the leader of the human trafficking ring, who like had her dad killed and is now going to have her killed to like stop it. And like betrayal. And I was like, whoa, this was really good. I felt like there was a very good mystery element in this book.
No, it's crazy.
But then she has a burner phone, which she's been using for investigations. And the kidnapper didn't take her burner phone. He only took her regular phone. So she texts Sparrow to Vlad so that he knows something's wrong. And I was like, why are you texting Vlad? Call 911. But then she does immediately after texting Vlad, call 911. So I was like, okay, fine. Fine. Like, but I was like, this is, no, your priorities are out of order. And she has her license plate memorized because the kidnapper is driving her car. And I was like, girl, like, she's like, my papa always taught me to have my license plate memorized.
Yeah, and honestly,
so that like people can find her.
Yeah.
I was like, oh damn, should I have my license plate memorized now?
Like we really
now I feel kind of stupid for not having it memorized.
Yeah. So I keep forgetting. I still haven't put on my new license plates. I was just in the car with my friend and we got pulled over because her registration was like not the right sticker, even though it was like updated. So I really should learn. I really should have like learned.
You really should put that on.
But I really just don't want to. I should. No, I know. It's just riding around in my trunk. Well, it's because right when we got it, all that shit went down.
I know, you got in an accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the kidnapper figures out she's on the phone, but then he like goes, like opens the door, like pulls over, opens the door, try to get her, and then she like kicks him in the nose, and I was like, hell yeah. And then she like throws herself in the front seat, and like he left the key in the ignition, so she like drives away, still like totally tied up, like unable to use, and then like immediately gets in a car accident. And then like Vlad, who's been like panicking this whole time ever since he got the text, he's like, oh my fucking god, like she's in trouble. He like gets the call that she's in the hospital. The police come to his house and is like, your wife was kidnapped. He's like, what? And then he's like, don't worry, she's in the hospital. Like she's very chill. Like she was weirdly competent at being kidnapped. Like it's kind of bizarre. And he runs through the hospital because he thinks that like the dramatic reunion always needs like a run, a hooju, if you will, from The Bachelor. But he has a broken leg, so he runs and then just trips right in front of him.
Which, like, how does man not like re-broken his leg by this point? Like, I'm sorry.
He has. It says in the epilogue that he set himself back like a month by falling.
Oh god. Awful.
But presumably I think he still has a career, but it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, because hockey players are like older on average than a lot of other sports. So 28 like actually is closer. I think
because it's like high contact, but I don't think it's like high contact with padding. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
Like I think it's just something that you can do when you're older.
Well, like it's less reflexes or something. I don't know. I think that's what goes for most people is like your reflexes just aren't quite as like they're still fast, but like you have to really be like peak like at like lightning speed.
And I think maybe the injuries in hockey are less than in like football or something.
Wow. But that's
because
really
there's like
to clear.
No, I know, but like when you're just comparing like football versus hockey players, they're both like high contact sports, and I think it's because like hockey has more padding, so like you're less likely to have like a serious injury.
Worse, like the way that rugby is like better than football, despite not having padding. Also, like fighting is part of hockey, like that's allowed in the rules, right? Isn't it kind of? They're kind of cutting down on it, but like.
No, that's a thing.
Football is statistically safer than hockey when it comes to injuries. Although football can result in more serious injuries, they're less common overall. Hockey players are at a higher risk for head concussion and other head injuries, which can be devastating long term. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I wonder why football can result in more serious injuries.
All right, well, that's out because I was like, in my head, I was like, if I were ever to marry a professional athlete, I feel like I'd go for hockey because, like, I was like, soccer players always get concussions, football players, but like, no, apparently there's no safe. Maybe baseball. They do have good butts, except I watched the World Series this year and there weren't very many good butts, and I was very disappointed. I was like, you guys are supposed to be the best of the best, and you asses are flat.
Wait, but how could you even see them? Aren't they like really kind of covered
in the
up?
World Series.
You can see it over their uniforms. It's not too bulky.
They have tight pants. They wear tight pants. Baseball pants accentuate your butt. They're made for accentuating
the
butts.
World Series. Okay, I just want you to know that in my head, World Series, I was like, that makes me think of baseball, but I guess hockey also has a World Series.
No, it is. No, it's baseball.
No,
it's
I don't
baseball.
think baseball is known for their butts. Why would they be?
Yes, they are. Baseball butt.
Why though?
What?
Why?
Baseball butt. All I'm saying, baseball butt.
Why though?
I don't know, because they're always squatting when they like are doing the like ready to swing. They're always like squatting a little bit. They gotta run. I don't know.
I don't think so. Nothing comes up when you Google that.
That was definitely a thing in high school.
Maybe you could just see them more than other people.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and now they love each other, and it's beautiful. And I don't think we get a resolution on whether the team wins the Stanley Cup, but I guess that's not really relevant. But they're gonna have a real wedding. Woo!
Yay!
They're gonna get married. She's part of the family.
Oh yeah, well she was already part of the family. Yeah.
I am glad that we got an epilogue, because I feel like this could be the kind of book a la The Hating Game where like there's loose ends, but like the author doesn't give us an epilogue, but we do get an epilogue, and it's like everybody got arrested. and I was like, thank God. Like I was gonna be like, I just need one line that's like everybody's happy and the bad guys got arrested.
Yeah, well you got it. All right.
Yeah.
So cat scale
feels pretty high.
Yeah, definitely.
Feels pretty high.
Many cats.
I feel like both.
It's a good number of cats.
3 cat characters. Michelle, I forgot to mention, Michelle has a cat as well.
Yeah. Well, you sure that's not the same as the cat that comes to Vlad?
No, it's not the neighbor cat. It's not Angie. Okay. Because we have Angie's name and she doesn't say, oh, it's Angie. She just says
Angie's
it's a cat.
The cat? Oh, okay. Are you sure
yeah,
it's
Angie's
not one of the
cat.
people?
No, I'm 100% sure Angie's the cat.
Fair enough.
I wrote it down. Yeah, so 3 cat characters. One of them's named Beefcake, which I just feel like is an extra point. I feel like both of the main characters were cats. Actually, no, Vlad's a bear specifically, but as we already determined,
only when he's mad.
Bears. But no, he's like, because he's like a hibernating bear. But as we determined before, bears count towards the cat scale because cats in infrared
lions in
night
infrared
pictures look like bears. This is a long ago. This is like early We Read It One Night listeners. Yeah. So like if you don't know what we're talking about, like bears are a big point. You have to listen to the beginning episodes. It's only to know how to survive a bear encounter. Like it's for your safety, for your health. Listen to the first few episodes. I would say up through Charm Offensive is when we like talk about it. Like first 10. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you don't know that by now, listen, what are you even doing here? All right, Pascal. All right. 3, 2, 1, 7,
8, 7.5.
Nice.
Very nice. Well done, Lyssa Kay Adams. Hope you write the World War II book. Can't wait for the historical romance that is in the first book.
This is what I meant to say. Why was it World War II Americans instead of Russians? I don't know. That just felt like an odd choice on Vlad's part. I guess he can do what he wants, but like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Because you got to have like the femme fatale, like he killed 13 decks before they caught him. And I mean people.
Why can't they have that with Russian soldiers?
Because they don't have those fun accents. They don't talk like that. And they're all like, hey.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Listen, I wonder what the Russian
the wrong accent
is. Yeah. Kind of like
Russian listeners. Let us know what's like the Russian journalist voice, like 1930s 40s journalist voice. Yeah,
I don't know.
I just feel like this like Slavic language doesn't really lend itself that well to that sort of like. But it's not like he killed 13 ducks before they caught him, and I mean people.
Okay.
Allison, anyway. Where can you find us? On Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at We Read It One Night, on Twitter at We Read It Podcast. You can email us, wereaditone@gmail.com. You can also leave us a rating and review. Rachel will make you a friendship bracelet if you win our giveaway. when and if we make it to 100 on Spotify
If you
and
leave a review
Apple
that mentions
Podcasts.
friendship, listen, if you leave, this is a promise from you to me, you leave a review that mentions friendship bracelets or Taylor Swift or chokers or all three, and then you message us on Instagram saying it was you and you feel comfortable sharing your mailing address, I will send you the friendship bracelet of your choice.
Yes. Yes. Very nice. Incentive, listener.
Yeah.
Just saying, roll on it. Or listen, it doesn't have to be on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It can be anywhere. Like, just show that you've left a review, a rating and review.
All right. Godspeed, comrades.
Godspeed.
Very appropriate for this book.
Yeah.